1 in 8. That is how many couples struggle with infertility. Infertility is a condition that is both devastating and heartbreaking and affects 6.1 million American couples of childbearing age. Most of these couples have to resort to other ways of conceiving a child. One of those ways is in vitro fertilization, or IVF. Hi, my name is Jessica Zimmerman, and I am one of the 1 out of 8 American couples that struggle with infertility. Today, I would like to tell you our story of going through IVF. There are 3 main points I would like to touch on. First, what IVF is and the reasons for doing it. Second, the process and expense of IVF. And third, the emotional roller coaster and results of going through the process. Using these 3 main points, I am going to attempt to inform you of all aspects of IVF. IVF is a medical procedure which takes place is a medical procedure where they take an egg from a woman and fertilize it in a man's sperm in a test tube or outside of the body. There are many reasons couples resort to doing IVF. The woman could have blocked or damaged fallopian tubes, ovulation disorders, premature ovulation failure, etc. Men could have low sperm count or concentration, poor motility, or abnormal morphology. In our case, I had 2 children from a previous relationship. After I had them, I had a lot of female issues which resulted in losing an ovary and a tube and my other tube being blocked. My infertility is called secondary infertility since I've already had children. Now that we know what IVF is, let's look at how the process works. The first step in the IVF process is to find a fertility doctor and for both the man and the woman to be tested. They analyze the man's sperm and they check the woman's tubes and ovaries and uterus to determine what could be causing the infertility. Once the cause is determined, they come up with a treatment plan. In our case, the treatment was IVF. To do this 1 round of IVF with medication, it costs us $20,000. Most insurance plans do not cover any of the IVF process. When you are ready to start the process, you have to wait until the first day of the woman's period and start taking medications to develop multiple eggs. Multiple eggs are desired because some eggs will not develop or fertilize after retrieval, so this gives you better chances. After a few weeks of medications, the woman goes through a procedure to have her eggs retrieved and start on new medications. We had 5 eggs retrieved. After retrieval, they take the man's sperm and inject it into the egg and let them fertilize. We got a call the next day and were told all 5 of ours had fertilized. However, the following day, we were told only 2 of ours had made it through fertilization and were growing into an embryo. They implant the embryo into the woman's uterus on day 3, 5, or 6, depending on how the uterus is doing and the embryo is growing. In our case, they called us to come in on day 3 to have one of ours implanted into the uterus. The other embryo we left we froze for a later time. After they implant the embryo, you have to wait 2 weeks to have the blood drawn to see if you were pregnant or not. Those were the longest 2 weeks of our lives. When the day finally comes and you have to go in and have your blood drawn, and then they leave and wait for the phone call for you to find out if you were pregnant or not. We got our phone call while we were at home, and it was the most heartbreaking phone call we have ever had. We were not pregnant. After all the weight gain, the hormone changes, after spending all the money on this 1 round of IVF and medications, all the ups and downs of emotions, we were hit with the "I am sorry, you are not pregnant." We tried again the following year with our remaining embryo and had the same results. In conclusion, today we have learned there are many people who struggle with infertility, that there are lots of reasons for couples to resort to IVF. IVF is expensive and the process is very strenuous. I speak about our infertility a lot to help bring awareness to the issue. We were not one of the lucky ones, but there are so many other couples that IVF have helped become parents. In a lot of these cases, these couples would have never been able to have children of their own if it wasn't for the medical procedure of IVF. I hope that with this speech you now have a better understanding of infertility and the process of IVF.